Not much, just form. We don't ever go back to the. We just end on the vamp, on the.
7/4.
Yeah, exactly. Then we just do that until we're all dead, and then eventually I'll cue the. And that's our concert. That's the whole show. I'm really excited to do the "Do You Hear What I Hear" version. There's some nasty chords in there on the Clark Sisters version. Like, let's see if I can find them. Do you know the song very well? No. Oh. After the key change, it does even sicker. Where is it? Oh, it's gonna be stuff. Clark Sisters are red. That version is nasty. Do you hear what I hear? What are you doing here? Oh yeah, what's up? I knew it. It doesn't tell you where you are. Film recording? Oh, phone recording. Do you have it on? If you didn't, that would make this a lot harder. It's in my car, the actual book, but I mean, if you got the PDF, that's fine too. But it's about 4 minutes. Yeah. And I also have to record something else too, so that's perfect. Oh. Hey. Oh yeah, I can't I forget the stream starts earlier now, so we're actually live. So I just got a text me. Hey, we can. No, you're good. The stream starts early. We still play, but like they can hear all the stuff. So they can hear Yuri playing Call and Go. They heard me farting around. Yeah. So that's something we'll have to figure out. This is the first Sunday where we started earlier. So. No. Play music in 1 minute. 1 minute. I already forgot what we're doing. Oh, moaning, that's right. It's hard for me in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Wait for it. It's not 8:50 yet. Not 8:50. What? Yeah, just on. All right, let's play. Look at that timing. Beautiful. Ready? Good morning, CSL. Good morning. My name's Jake, that's Yuri, and that's Joe. You may have noticed I skipped a name from usual, and that is because on stage with the big fiddle is our amazing guest artist. Please give it up for Marina Christopher. She's going to lead us in our opening sing-along, so please sing along. Thank you.
You're welcome to sing along and maybe do the hand motions with me, please. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. You send your love, you send your love over the mountains. You send your love over the sea. You send your love over the mountains, and it returns to me. And it returns to me. We send our love. We send our love over the mountains. We send our love over the sea. We send our love over the mountains, and it returns to us. And it returns to us. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Okay, I just like, like, should I? Good morning. I'm Rev Jerry. My pronouns are she and her, and it's my pleasure to invite you to feel welcomed in this home, which is your home. Like, open your heart, because I just feel it this morning. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad that you're here. And we're a community that we like to call ourselves spiritual but not religious. I don't know about you, but I've got some religious baggage that I had to let go of, send it to parts unknown, and find this teaching that says, God's all there is, end of sentence, period. You and me and all of us, and we come together to celebrate that today. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here online, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. We got about 2/3 of our community now watching online. Isn't that amazing? That's intelligence in action. When I'm on Zoom every morning, I'm so aware that through the mind of somebody, God created something called Zoom so we could pray together every morning. I mean, that's astonishing. So anyway, welcome here. I wanted to let you know that we've had some issues, especially you people watching online. We've had some issues with the live stream. We're trying to get that figured out. I think we have got it figured out. Is that correct? Come see, come saw. Thanks for your patience. The weekly email link for live stream is not going to be sent out anymore. So if you want to watch us live, go to the Watch and Listen tab on our website, and just go watch live, and it should pop up. And if you're watching on YouTube, nothing changes. Wanted to let you know. So if you're new to Seattle, new to this church, we have these welcome cards, these connection cards, these ways to let us know about you and you to find out more about us. One of my favorite cards is the support card, because we have 60 people trained to pray. You have a prayer request, you can write it on the back. There's a box in the back you can give it to, or you can give it to anybody wearing a purple stole. Will one of you stand up? Or all of you? All these people are wanting to pray today, so give them something to do. And you can get on the email list. We send out an email at least once, sometimes a couple times, just to let you know what's going on. And we would love to have you find your place here. I found my place here. It took me maybe about a year before I was willing to go, okay, I'm in. So I welcome you to say, I'm in. Thank you.
That's me.
That's you, baby.
Oh, let's see. Ooh, I get to be on stage with one of my favorite singers. Oh. Okay, so let's just work off that idea, my dears. The idea that we can send our love. You know, that's so true. I'm going to talk about that later tonight. When time is a construct. Anyway, it's just a construct. I'm going to talk about it later. But truly, we have heard this so many times, what goes around comes around. What you give out comes back. Jesus said it this way, multiplied, pressed down, and running over. So the more you send love, the more you will feel loved. Who wants to feel more loved? I mean, can you say, oh, I'm loved enough. Oh, no, nobody says, no more love, no more appreciation, no more recognition. Oh, no. No, we all say, bring it on. And so the way we bring it on is not being a people pleaser. It's not being extra nice. It's not acting cool. It's to send out what we want back. So during this time of prayer, let us send our love indiscriminately out through our heart to all of existence. Breathe in. Breathe into your heart space. And imagine that with each exhale, love is emanating out through you. So we truly send our love over the mountains. We send our love over the seas. We send our love into the heavens. And what it must do is come back to we. This is the message that the Spirit of God wants elevated this morning. It's the message I got last night. It's the message that Marina just sang. What we give, we get. And so it is.
Dark night, and I've been waiting for the morning. It's been a long, hard fight, but I see a brand new day dawning, and I've been looking for the sunshine. and everything's gonna be alright. It's been all wrong, 'cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning, and everything's gonna be alright, gonna be okay. It's been a long time since I've known the taste of freedom. I've been clinging vines that had me bound, 'cause I don't need them. And a captured eagle, you know, an eagle's born to fly. And now that I have won my freedom, like an eagle, I am eager for the sky. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a clear blue day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay. I can see the light, clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. And everything's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay. And everything's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay. But I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a clear blue day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Yes, I can. I can see the light. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be
Woo! Yeah, there I am. There I am. Got my sound again. Okay, so I watched way too much Glee many years ago. So, my dears, first of all, woo! Well, that's cold. I was going to say beautiful graphics for that song. Once again, you're picking them good. Yes, and wow, loving it. So, today's talk title is The Holiness of Connection. And I don't know why I picked that one, really. You know, what happens is I'm supposed to come up with things, and I just start typing away in the program at our center where we keep all these things together. And then when I look on Friday, I go, ooh, really? The holiness of connection. Oh, me. Anyway, but I do trust that what I put in to our shared programming is what I'm supposed to talk about. So I did my own little discovery work. And I went, well, holiness, what's the definition of holiness? It's a state of religious purity. And not so, nah. It's the title of a religious leader. As in the Pope. If you met the Pope, you would say, hi, Pope, and then you'd say, Your Holiness. You wouldn't say, oh, Popest, or Pope, or hi, Pope. No, no, no. You wouldn't even call him by the name that he goes by. You would say, Your Holiness. And so too with the Dalai Lama, by the way, just in case you run into him. It's nice to know these things. So I dug a little deeper, and it comes from an old English word which means to be declared sacred. And the ness, the ness that's added to it, holiness, is a quality of something. And what I realized is that different religions hold different things as holy or sacred. So, for instance, some religions hold relics as sacred. Some religions hold people as sacred. For instance, the Sikhs have gurus. Those gurus were sacred. And I say were because they don't have any gurus. They had the last guru, and they're still reading the words of those gurus, if you were a Sikh. Some religions have places as sacred. So you might go to Lourdes, or you might go to other holy sites. In fact, I only know of one religion that holds time as sacred, and that's the Jewish tradition. It's time. This time to this time is sacred. For us, what's sacred, and I get it, and now I know why I'm supposed to talk about it. For us, the recognition of connection is sacred. We recognize connections as sacred, holy. Being together is holy. Well, there's a song that I'm not going to sing because I only know the first line, but it's the song that everything is holy now. I used to go to church, and I used to worship, and I used to take the sacrament, and now I realize everything is holy now. Everything is sacred now. What was happening in this song, I believe, is that they were recognizing that they are connected, and that connection is holy. That connection is sacred. That's a wonderful experience, frankly. You know, we teach unity. There's even a whole segment of New Thought called Unity. But unity is beyond the title of a church, system, or organization. Unity is the experience, the felt experience of connection and the sacredness of it. Now, what keeps us from experiencing this? Because it's going on. I can't create a connection. I can create a conscious experience of that connection. But I can't create a connection that's already there. What keeps us from experiencing that connection, and I love it. I'm just, the way I do my talks now is I just start writing and then I go, really? I would have done something else. We're going to talk about this. Besides the belief that we grew up with, that it's me and it's you and that it might be us, one of the things that makes us break through to an experience of unity is a belief in superiority. Some things are better than other things. Some people are better than other people. Human beings believe that they're better than animals. Some human beings think they're better than the planet itself. That sense of superiority, or that belief in it, keeps us from wanting to experience unity because, we got our place. And yet in the gospel, which is just the good news. And so if somebody tells you something about the gospel and it doesn't sound like good news, it's not the gospel. I mean, the gospel means good news. This is good news. You're a sinner is not a really good news. And Jesus never said it. Jesus never said it. Frankly, you know, I've said this before, and Jesus and I are now in talking terms. For a while, I wasn't even speaking to him. But now we talk. And I realized that what was said about him is not what he said about himself or his belief systems. You're welcome. So the gospel is always for good stuff. So let's just take since it's Christmas time in the city and the country, I was just seeing all the people who put up lights, and Tim and I are going, oh my goodness, they got their lights up. They had their lights up so early, we're so behind. Anyway, let's just take, for instance, the two birth stories, Jesus' birth stories. There's two, one in Matthew, one in Luke. Both of them were added anywhere between 1.5 centuries to 2 centuries after Jesus was born. They were added. They were inserted. They were a totally different author than the ones that wrote Matthew and Luke. Why? Mainly because they were moving into, this is scholarship. Christians were moving into more of a Greek and Roman environment, and there all the gods have holy births. I mean, no, you didn't have somebody that had power without being the son of Zeus or Jupiter, and you got to have something holy going on. So stick these stories in; it'll make it good. Anyway, but even then, the stories. I mean, my goodness, who got to hear the angels sing? Well, it wasn't the high priest. And it wasn't the folks that were hanging out in the temple. It was lowly farm workers. No, look at the significance. No, you didn't get a higher place, therefore you got angels. Who got the first announcement of the birth? Yeah, well, it wasn't even family and friends. It was animals. Who got to recognize a divine occurrence? It wasn't the political dignitaries. It was foreigners. How inclusive can you get? Who was highly favored? A woman. Come on. I mean, there's little hints everywhere. All of the hierarchy was like subtly dissipated. And Jesus was self-assured enough in his own humanity and his own spiritual authority that he gathered the uneducated, the gruff, and the outcasts to be his disciples and apostles. He had laborers. He had tax collectors. Oh, by the way, it's not like the IRS. It's not some guy that sits behind a desk. You know what a tax collector had the power to do? Is to go into your house and take anything he wanted. Because he had to give a bunch of money to this person and then that person, and then he had some for himself, which didn't leave a lot in the household. Tax collectors were usually part of the village, so they knew when somebody had a windfall. Tax collectors were hated. Hated. So, of course, the person who wanted to establish a new order of things would take a tax collector. And there were women apostles. Now, that was written out later, but there's way too much evidence. I mean, even Paul talks about the apostle, and it was a woman's name. Come on. He was so advanced. So, are you ready to set yourself up for being a master of conscious connection? Meaning the consciousness of connection. You ready? Okay, so let's leave the Bible and go into quantum physics. So excited. See, we need to expand our paradigm because we're still stuck in Newtonian physics. How many of you remember Newtonian physics? You know, if this does this, it's going to have a reaction here. What a body wants to do, a body wants to do. You know, let's see, you can change energy into matter and matter into energy. Not good Newtonian physics. Let's just read something. All matter is held in place by a force. Behind this force, we must assume the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of creation. Now, who do you think's Star Wars? Yoda? Gary Zukov? Speaking on Oprah, Super Sunday? The Matrix? This very modern idea was blurted out 89 years ago by the gentleman who just was a wee bit ahead of his time. Genius physicist Max Planck, Planck, made that reference to God after he accepted the Nobel Prize in 1917 for developing quantum theory. Oh, isn't this good? This very daring statement almost blew his fellow physicists out of their chairs. It wasn't enough that Max was accepting the Nobel Prize for developing quantum physics, the first concept to explain physics at the subatomic level. This new concept would also bridge the gap between science and spirituality. He was going where no man had gone before. Where's the piano when you need it? Jeez. Musicians in their breaks. Oh, my goodness. So, here's the issue with quantum physics. It didn't work on the macro. It only worked on the micro. Newtonian physics really was able to explain why the moon was in a certain place at a certain time. It explained why we weren't rushing towards the sun and being burned up. It did not explain the microscopic world of atoms. Remember the good old days when there was a neutron and an electron? Remember the good old days? Well, guess what? That is no more. There's only swirling pop probabilities, and an electron doesn't show up until you look for it. It's so true. Yes. It's just fuzz. And what they've discovered is that even in the electron, which is the building blocks of what we call matter, it's 99% space. We're just nothing but space. Exciting! Now, what's this got to do with connection? Stick with me. Stick with me. I just have to have my science, stuff once in a while. So, Einstein died wanting to find some sort of unifying principle behind Newtonian physics, which does work, but not on the micro level, and quantum physics that does work, but not on the universal level. And it was called that they were the search for the unifying principle. What came out of that, and what's being experimented with now, and people and scientists are starting to move into this, is called the 0-point energy field. Rumi, there is a field beyond right thinking and wrong thinking. I'll meet you there. Ernest Holmes said, eventually the scientists will reach the mountaintops of knowledge and be greeted by the mystics. Makes me just so happy. Thank you for sharing my excitement. The 0 point energy field idea is that since most everything is empty space, what really is in existence is vibration, frequencies. I've seen it on social media. How many of you have seen those things on social media? Oh, it's all about your frequency. It's all about what you're putting out. It's not what you affirm. It's what your frequency is. Guess what? That's what the scientists are saying now. That even though it looks like there's a person here and a person here and a person here, as Einstein would say, separation is an optical delusion. Separation is an optical delusion. We are vibrating and we see that vibration. You show up as this vibration and that vibration, and yet we can change those vibrations. And we actually then are in a field, what they call the 0 point energy field, which is a field of vibration after vibration. So this field of intelligence in which there are vibrations knowing itself. So even the mystic would say, you looking out at the universe is the universe recognizing itself. Meister Eckhart, what he said was, with the eye with which I view God is the eye of God viewing me. I mean, come on. It's all this, so there's such a good connection. Now that's, like I could get excited about that, but what's it mean? What it means is, I believe, well, let's go back to the micro and the macro and the micro, because as above, so below. Here's the little thing I didn't know, because I love biology. I loved science. I took every advanced placement science class. I took science. It's like, they wanted me to take languages and typing. It's like, no, just give me science. And I'm finding out stuff about science. So, for instance, when I was studying biology, they said that the cells talk to each other by sending out chemicals, and then another cell would react to that chemical and do something else. What they're finding is, yes, there are chemicals, but more important, whether there's a chemical or not being transferred between cells, they send frequency waves to each other. It's almost like they have little cell phones. As above, so below. I mean, whoever came up with cell phones, maybe they were just listening to their cells. This is how we talk. I don't know why you have to have a landline anyway. They don't ooze out chemicals. But they tap into each other's, listen to this. This is what I read. They tap into each other's signature frequency and send a message to a particular cell that they want to address and get attention. I know it is. So what if we gave up our superiority, at least in this center, and realized that everything was alive? And everything had intelligence. Maybe that's why people have really great experiences when we go to some place with rocks that have been worshipped and had worship around them for a long time, whether it was Stonehenge or Peru, and especially Egypt. Maybe it's the rocks with the intelligence implanted in that. And you touch it, and the frequency of that intelligence moves into you. Something happens. I'm telling you, something happens. So let's just start out easy. Let's take a plant. I was taking a break from my talk, and I had gotten to the place about, everything's alive and everything's a frequency. And so I decided to talk to one of my plants, which is my favorite plant because it reminds me of my grandmother. My grandmother had an asparagus fern. And in the summertime, I put my asparagus fern outside on the porch, and it grows. It's just amazing. I bring it in, and it starts to die. And I finally just said, because I'm, it's a frequency, I can talk. What's with you? I did say it that way. I was going to say, what's with you, honey? No, I said, what's with you? And I actually got it. It's too close to the vent. It got too hot. Like, oh, it's been going on for years and I never picked that up. But all of a sudden, because I asked, since I wanted information from it, it told me. There's a retreat that I do sometimes. I do a lot of retreats, but sometimes, I will have people go out and pick a tree and talk to the tree. Spend 2 hours with a tree. Just the one that I'm remembering right now, we were in Monaco and Morocco. That's where we went to Morocco. We couldn't afford Monaco. Anyway, we went to Morocco. And we were at this retreat center and had it all to ourselves. It was just us. And there were trees all around and different kinds of trees that I set people off. I said, you got 2 hours, go pick a tree, sit by the tree and talk to the tree. And there was this scientific guy, a gentleman, a science. Now, actually, he was also a medium. He was becoming a medium. And he thought he could talk to dead people, but he couldn't talk to a tree. Interesting. See, think about it. Human life is more significant than plant life. Do you see how the separation can happen? I mean, I have, anyway. So he goes off and he said, I'm not sitting by no tree because I'm not getting dirty. No, really, he came back and said that. What went through his mind. I'm not sitting by no tree because I'm not getting dirty. And he's walking along and there's a chair by a tree. And he said, oh, all right. So he goes and he sits in the chair and he's like, how do you talk to? Oh, so he just puts his hand on the tree and he said, the tree for 2 hours wouldn't shut up. It just downloaded and downloaded and downloaded and told him all sorts of things about life itself and his life and everything else. He said, finally, I had to get away. I had to journal. That was just way too much. You can talk to trees. You can be energized by trees. A lot of the Native Americans in our country, before there was horses, like in this area, they would run long distances, and when they got tired, they'd back up against certain types of trees that would give them energy to go along the way. Oh yeah, it happens. Trees they are so alive. I just read, and our property is surrounded by fir trees, that trees, if they love you, will actually psychically protect the land. So now when I go in and out of our driveway, I thank them because I do feel protected. And so if you got a tree in your yard, thank it. Say thank you for, watching the house while I'm gone. I mean, do you know that they talk to each other and care for each other? There's so much intelligence in a tree. And they're not off murdering each other. Then let's go with the animals. Talk to your animals. I've decided I'm putting myself on a program to learn how to talk to animals because I got animals I just don't understand. I mean, Finley's pretty good. Finley, he'll look at me, and he's probably thinking, you are so stupid. Can't you get this? You talk to God and can't talk to me? And finally I'll say, do you want food? Do you want to go out? And he spins. Yes, he spins. I mean, animals are so smart. But see, what happens is I realize that I'm willing to talk to him. Am I willing to have him talk to me? Or is it a superiority thing? Think about it. What if we could understand? What if we could communicate in such a way with the animals that they would tell us how we need to change the rivers? Oh no, we don't want to know how to change the rivers and the lakes. But if we really understood that they are a vibration, we're a vibration, and in God there's no difference of the vibrations. God doesn't see vibration differently, like this is a good vibration and that's a bad vibration. This is a better vibration, this is lower vibration. No, it's all vibration. Take that in. So I want to share a meditation with you. I'd love for you to just close your eyes. Oh, by the way, just because you're here, let's have a little Star Wars. Star Wars. No, wasn't it? No, it's Oh, yes. Thank you. Star Trek. I just, we're going to be people that go where a lot of people don't go, which is to start being informed by everything. If God is intelligence and every point of vibration is a point of intelligence, what are we missing out on when we only listen to ourselves, or we only listen to social media, or we only listen to the news? What if our whole body was crying out and saying, you know what, that food's not good for me? What if we were really listening? What if it wants to respond in pleasant and beautiful ways? What if the cat could be our new guru? Just don't let it bother you. All you need is just a little love. Keep yourself clean. Eat well and then have zoomies. Those, you have to have a cat to know about a zoomie. Anyway, so let's do this meditation. Close your eyes if you choose to. And this is a meditation based on the theory of zero-point energy field. Picture a spider web, a gigantic spider web of silver light. And every living thing is connected on this web. Now let's expand this idea. Instead of it being a two-dimensional web, it's actually a web in 3D, as wide and deep and spreading out in every direction throughout the universe. It's infinite. It is a sparkly ocean of ideas and the history of everything. What's more, not only is it made up of matter, but it's a sea of energy. And it also occupies the space between the stars and the empty space between your cells and even the space between the nucleus and the electrons of your atoms. Just see light everywhere. In Hinduism, it said that the heavens of Indra, which is the sky god, were nothing more than pearls linked together to hold all humanity. This sea of energy is everything and everything that will be. Remember, matter itself is almost completely insubstantial. It's made up of 99% empty space. Now, instead of seeing the absence of matter as a vacuum, envision that this void, along with the rest of creation, is electric, vibrating, and alive. And not only that, this ocean, this matrix of light, is logging information into the gigantic library of records in microscopic inference patterns as we move along in our own history. And as we allow ourselves to vibrate at different vibrational levels, we will send out messages of love and peace and well-being to those who are receptive to being influenced by it. So once again, we send our love over the mountains. We send our love over the seas. We send our love into the heavens. We send our love into the deep, deep center of ourselves. We send our love to our family. We send our love to our bodily organs. We send our love to our businesses, to our workplaces. We send our love to our neighborhood. We send our love deep into the ocean to bless the ocean. We send our love high into the sky to bless the winged things. For all is connected. And we are a center of divine operation, the operation of love. And so it is.
So they have broke your heart. Now that you've stood your ground, you heard them say the silent part out loud. All you can do is try, and it just might make a difference. So they have broke your heart, and now that you've stood your ground, you heard them say the silent part out loud. All you can do is try,
It is good to have you in the house. Yeah. Do I get an amen?
Amen.
Yes. See, highest honor.
Jake told me about the theme this week, and I wrote that last one.
Well, that made it even better. Oh my goodness. No wonder it had so much transmission. Wonderful. All right. Things happening today. First of all, yum. For those of you that want to go home and get a coat because we're closing out our quote drive, come back and we will be having a family soup bar fundraiser because that's going to go to the youth and family fundraising. And then also you can still pick up gifts from the giving tree and bring them back next week. And we're going to, after soup, there's scarf making, which is always fun. Who knew you could just make scarves? And we give them away to people that might be cold. And, well, what it might be. There's people out there that are cold. Yeah. Really? So yeah. And then we also will having a drumming meditation workshop here in the sanctuary. So, wow, lots of things to do this afternoon. Tonight, we're having the Soul of the Season holiday concert. With Jake. And band, probably, right? Band and Stephanie Ann Johnson. I mean, come on. Get your jingles on and just, light those things that light up and come dressed for the holidays and have some good music. That'll be wonderful. Then, let's see. Mark your calendars because we will have a winter solstice celebration again. It will be on Sunday, this 22nd, because I'll tell you why, if millions and billions of people through thousands of years have celebrated the solstice, let's do so too. Let's just get on that bandwagon. And that will be very powerful. Then we also divide up our Christmas Eve services. We have an Eve service. Why? Because a lot of people do things with the family on Christmas Eve. So we learned a long time ago to offer it one day ahead that serves a lot of people. And some people are going, yep, I got to do family. I was going to say, I don't get to do family, but it's okay. And then we will also have our standard Christmas Eve service. Both of those will be at 7 p.m. And you can figure out what Eve is and Eve is. I trust you on that one. So any questions, though, that you have about any of our wonderful holiday activities, if you have questions about any of our services, please feel free to call the office, talk to Heidi or whoever answers. They have a lot of information. We also have a lot of information at the registration desk for people that are in this room. You can go out the doors and turn to your right, and someone's always there to help you out. Also, they could help you out with the classes that you want to take next year, because why not start planning? Really, there are great classes to take, and there's some people who are on the practitioner track, and if you are on the practitioner track, you really do need to find out what classes you need to take so that you can start your practitioner studies in the fall of 2025. And let's see, what else do I have to say? That's it. Yay! Hope to see you at some of our activities because we do have a good time. We are a fun-loving group and also very service-oriented. Now, I would love for you to check inside your heart and ask, what is yours to give today? And we have all of those ways of giving on the screen behind me. And for those of you watching online, thank you for watching online, by the way. It's on your screen as well. I'm glad you're part of this community. And I don't talk about quantum physics very often. It just gets me to, anyway. So I'll go back to something different next week. Anyway, well, yeah. But back to giving. You can do Venmo and text to give. You can check into our website. You can call the office and you'll get to talk to somebody wonderful like Michael, and he'll help you out. And we also have a QR code that's on this screen and on your screen. And we wanted to make it easy because we realize that not everybody carries around cash and not everybody carries around checks anymore. So these are other ways that you can give. There's also, for those of you that are into cash or checks or credit cards, there are envelopes in the seat backs in front of most of you. Yes, that's it. So, I forgot. Cookie decorating and cookie swap is next Sunday. Skip the soup. I'm just going to wait for the cookies. No, I'm just kidding. No, really. It'll all be good. I'll have soup and cookies. So I'm just saying this because there's so much to do, and we do it because people support us. We couldn't do it without your support. You know, there's no big corporation in the sky. It's us. We are it. So check your heart. What's yours to give? How do you want to do it? And then we have a tradition and a ceremony. And yes, we're going to bring up our basket. Janine was saying that this isn't her mother's church. But you know what? Mama would have liked it. And so the basket's up here. We have people bring their gifts up. Or if you are an automatic giver, which many people are, they just give automatically, then go ahead and just bless the basket. And let's have some fabulous, fun music to do it by. Oh, that makes you want to get up, doesn't it? Whoa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mandy Cui. I'm a licensed practitioner here at CSL Seattle. So after the service, for people online, do join Candace and Beverly, who will be online to do an online prayer circle. And we will have Cynthia, who will be here with us to the left of the stage in person for an in-person prayer circle. So please join her. And, it's actually Jeff, I guess. Sorry. It is Jeff who will be here. Cynthia is back at the prayer desk over there. If you want to put a prayer into the box or talk to her to do an in-person prayer, you can talk to her back there. And we also had Francie, who is up there blessing the offerings. So thank you all for what you have donated today. Now let's all take a deep breath. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes. And just let the beautiful message, the beautiful words that you heard here today settle in. And feel that love, that connection with everybody who is in the room, with everybody who is online, and with all the living things. And as we move forward into life, into the holidays, let us all set our attention on that love and connection. As we know, what we set our attention on just expands and grows. So let us grow that love. Let us grow that connection with all living things. Feel that love, feel that connection, knowing that all is good, all is great. And so it is.
All right, everybody, it's time for the closing sing-along. Please rise as you're able. Feel free to get up on stage and dance, but please be careful of the bass. It bites. Marina does not, but the bass does. Let's fire it up. Joe, get back there.